Next news, breaking news.
300 TSA agents have just walked off the job in 3 weeks. Airports across America are descending into chaos with security lines stretching for hours. And here's the kicker that should terrify every American watching right now. While Chuck Schumer and the Democrats play political games with homeland security funding, our intelligence agencies have confirmed that Iranian sleeper cells are activated on American soil. It's not incompetence, folks. This is deliberate. This is the sabotage of American security by radical Democrats who'd rather see this country burn than let President Trump protect it. So what exactly are they hiding? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly what this means for you and your family. See, if you're planning to fly anywhere in the coming weeks, prepare for absolute bedlam. We're talking 4-hour security lines at major airports, Houston's Hobby Airport, more than half the TSA workforce called out on a single day. JFK, Atlanta, New Orleans, Pittsburgh, all hitting double-digit absent rates. And these aren't numbers on a spreadsheet. This is your vacation ruined, your business trip delayed, your family emergency turned into a nightmare. But it gets even worse. These TSA agents have now been forced to work without pay 3 separate times in just 6 months under the Democrat obstruction. They've missed multiple paychecks. You see, they have families to feed, mortgages to pay. And they're walking away in droves because Democrats refuse to fund the Department of Homeland Security. Senator Katie Britt laid it out. We are 25 days into a shutdown of the very department charged with keeping Americans safe. While our airports crumble, Iranian operatives are active inside our borders. And speaking of national security threats the media wants to bury, there's another crisis that could cripple America's defense capabilities. We've been tracking this story. It's been developing for months. And the legacy media doesn't want you to see this. As Iran destabilizes the Middle East and activates cells on our soil, the federal government just made a move that could reshape American security posture. And here's the truth they don't want you to know. Our nuclear submarines, our warheads, our next-generation power grid, all of it depends on uranium, and we import almost every single pound of it from foreign nations. You see, it's not just about energy independence, it's about survival. Because a nation that can't power its own military doesn't remain a military for long. And that's why smart investors are looking at atomic minerals, trading as ATMMF in the United States and ATOM in Canada. They're positioned in one of the world's premier uranium districts. When America finally secures its nuclear future, companies like this could lead the charge. Make sure you check out the full briefing that's been prepared for you right below. It's exclusive for Next News viewers only. Now, let's get back to the Democrats' dangerous game with our homeland security. Yes, this is what really makes my blood boil. This whole situation. Dana Perino over at Fox just dropped a truth bomb that every Democrat on Capitol Hill needs to hear. She said if she were responsible for this shutdown while Iranian sleeper cells are activated across America, she'd be cutting a deal tomorrow. Okay? These are teenagers who traveled to Turkey, Saudi Arabia, showing up on our radar, our intelligence and law enforcement. They need every resource available, and Democrats are playing politics with American lives. Check this out. Dana Perino calls out Dems over the ongoing DHS shutdown.
Disturbed by a couple of things. One was that one of the lawyers for these two said, oh, yeah, I never met him. He had no idea who he was. And I was like, I understand that that's a lawyer, lawyers at the table. I mean, maybe they're trying to figure out a way to best help their client. But if I were Democrats on Capitol Hill and responsible for the Democratic shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security, when we have activated Iranian sleeper cells around this country, I would say we got to figure out a way to cut a deal tomorrow. And we have to help the air travelers, yes, but we have to figure out a way to make sure that our men and women in law enforcement and intelligence have everything they need, because they're teenagers, right? Well, where had they gone? They had traveled to Turkey. They had traveled to Saudi Arabia. They had gone away. What did their social media look like? I know that we can't be on top. We can't necessarily know everything that everyone is doing all at once. But if we can connect dots, it will help us prevent this from happening. These guys wanted to kill someone. That's why they're likely to spend perhaps the rest of their life in prison. Because, if they're lucky. Yeah, maybe you're right. There's something else could happen to them along the way. As to the CNN thing, I just feel like editors matter, and the industry is changing a lot, and you got to put resources where it really matters, because there's so much disinformation out there right now that if you want to be a trusted brand, then you have to figure out a way to knock the stuff down before it gets deleted. But I'm glad they deleted it.
So continuing, the Dems are forcing TSA to work unpaid, hit a boiling point, 300 agents quitting. Now, Dana Perino calls out Dems for inaction amidst the sleeper cell threats. You heard it. Democrats forced TSA employees to work without pay 3 times in 6 months. That's rapid response. And now fed-up agents are leaving the workforce in drove, with over 300 agents quitting in 3 weeks. It will only get worse the longer these radical left politicians drag this on. Listen.
Reporting on how the shutdown has affected airports. What are you learning?
Yeah, Lindsay, unscheduled absences among TSA officers have more than doubled nationwide since the beginning of this shutdown, according to exclusive data obtained by CBS News from TSA officials, with absences climbing in major hubs like New York, Houston, and Atlanta. Now, these internal TSA statistics show the nationwide call-out rate. Unscheduled absences by frontline officers has climbed to an average of more than 6% during the shutdown, compared with roughly 2% before DHS funding lapsed. And absences peaked at nearly 9% nationwide on February 23rd. At some airports, the staffing shortages have been even more severe. For instance, at Houston's Hobby Airport, 53% of officers called out on March 8th, leaving more than half of the scheduled workforce absent. And across the shutdown, several major airports have averaged double-digit absence rates. JFK in New York, Atlanta, New Orleans, and Pittsburgh. The agency is also tracking operational hotspots, incidents where TSA officials say staffing shortages actually threaten security checkpoint operations. Houston recorded 44, New Orleans 35, Atlanta 32 during the shutdown, and nationwide the highest single day total reached 87 hotspots just 2 days ago. Managers have had to consolidate checkpoints, reduce screening lanes, and all of this contributing to longer security lines.
And RNC research continues. Democrats know ICE is already funded, but they shut down DHS anyway, defunding critical agencies that keep our nation safe like TSA, FEMA, and the Coast Guard. Here's more.
Well, travelers across the country are facing major disruptions as the Department of Homeland Security shutdown drags on. People are waiting in long security lines. That's because staffing shortages are slowing the screening processes. Many passengers are even missing their flights. Democrats are refusing to budge on a funding resolution until major reforms are made to immigration enforcement.
Immigration enforcement. That's what they're holding this all up for. Chuck Schumer leading the Democrat shutdown of DHS, causing chaos.
At some airports, 4 hours at some airports, and you wonder why? It's because unscheduled absences among airport security officers have more than doubled since the shutdown. 300 employees have quit.
I mean, they haven't been getting a paycheck. And remember, this is the second round of a shutdown today. So they missed 2 paychecks the first time. I think they've already missed 1 paycheck this time around. Senator Katie Britt, who is normally pretty calm, was quite furious about it. Here she is.
We are now 24, 25 days into a government shutdown with a department that is actually charged with keeping Americans safe. We also know that there is the ability to have increased threats. And the agency, whether it be Coast Guard, TSA, CISA, Secret Service, CBP, and ICE.
Disgraceful. Any way you slice it. 300 TSA agents have walked off the job in just 3 weeks. Airports across America are descending into chaos with security lines stretching for hours. And here's the kicker that should terrify every American watching right now. While Chuck Schumer and the Democrats play political games with Homeland Security funding, our intelligence agencies have confirmed that Iranian sleeper cells are activated on American soil. This is not incompetence, folks. This is a deliberate sabotage of American security by radical Democrats who rather see this country burn than let President Trump protect it. Now, let me connect the dots the mainstream media refuses to touch. This isn't about budget negotiations. This isn't about policy disagreements. This is about Democrat leadership deliberately weakening America's defenses during one of the most dangerous moments in recent memory. Chuck Schumer knows exactly what he's doing. They forced TSA workers to go without pay 3 times in 6 months. They watched 300 agents quit in 3 weeks. They sat there while absence rates doubled and tripled and did nothing. Because chaos at airports and vulnerable borders serves their political agenda. The establishment wants you demoralized, they want you unprotected, they want you dependent. But President Trump is fighting to fund DHS and secure this nation, and all Democrats are doing is fighting to stop him. Now here's the bottom line, Patriots. Every single American needs to understand what is happening. Democrats have chosen political obstruction over safety, over your security, and your families. 300 TSA agents gone, Iranian sleeper cells active, airport security in free fall, and Chuck Schumer won't lift a finger to fix it. This is the fight of our generation, and President Trump needs your voice. Call your representatives, demand they fund the Department of Homeland Security immediately, and share this video with everybody you know, because the mainstream media will never tell them the truth. And I want to hear from you in the comments below. Should Democrats face consequences for deliberately endangering American national security? Simple yes or no. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure you hit raw feed, type that into your phone, and text it to 844-840-4963. I want you on our exclusive insiders list so you don't have to worry about algorithms or missed notifications or notifications that you want but never get. You'll get notifications directly from me to you right to your phone, especially when breaking news happens. And while you're at it, check out the Next News merch shelf below this video and show the world where you stand. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and remember, stay informed and stay free.
The system controls information. Information control is power. I want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.